Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Unnamed Player, and today we're going to be beating every single Plague Inc. disease on Mega Brutal in one video. So, let's just cut right to it. The first disease type is bacteria. We're going to roll with ATP boost, genetic mimic, aerocyte, xerophile, and symptostasis. It's pretty normal. Yep. And don't care about what it's called. Start in Saudi Arabia, good central position, has a lot of airports, and we're going to first start off with getting sweating and rash. And then we're going to try to get skin lesions, and that should be good for our symptom tree for a very long time. It's very cheap. Then we're going to just focus on getting some air, and that's it. After getting air 2, you should probably almost immediately have this happen. You're going to want to get both drug resistance 2 and cold resistance 2 to even have a chance in getting anywhere. I recommend trying to focus on cold resistance 2. Then what I like to do is grab a bit of a sheep, a bit of livestock transmission, because you want to spread in Russia really quickly. You can also try doing it with Norway, but you really want to get to Greenland as soon as possible, since there's only like 2 boats that go to Greenland every year. And so it is really just a race against the clock as to when you can actually get to there. If anything else spawns, like evolves, then it's completely fine. You don't need to worry about it. It's not going to add enough. This is a perfect amount of severity that you'll get plenty of DNA from your red bubbles, but you also won't trigger any like terrifying shit. I like to get some pneumonia first pretty quickly because it has a bonus in the cold climates. And then we're going to start getting some water. We're going to want to try to get into Greenland as soon as possible. By this point, you should have extreme bioaerosol. At least that's what I think for the disease, for this disease type. This is a very simple disease. I get extreme bioaerosol. Every single point I get now is going to be saved until this happens. And once this happens, you're gonna want to get necrosis. Then immediately, as soon as you can, try to get hemorrhagic shock, because that is a perfect amount of lethality you need in order to get a huge ticking amount of DNA points. Boom. Now, all you need to do is just sit back and watch. If it does end up getting too close to the wire with the cure, which it very well could, always try to get a genetic reshuffle, or if you've run out of genetic reshuffles, grab yourself a couple seizures or insanity or that kind of thing, and that should do it all very well. Paralysis, coma, seizures, insanity will all reduce the cure progress, similar to a genetic reshuffle. I'm assuming that it's just because like someone's just like working on the very delicate matters of the cure, and as they do it, they just suddenly start having a seizure and shaking everywhere, and then the disease just spreads everywhere more. Pretty cool, pretty cool. After a certain amount of people have died, the cure progress becomes negligible. But of course, even on Mega Brutal, it still looks like they have a chance. But in the end, it doesn't really matter, because when there's less than 1 million people left in the world, there's not enough to be done. And boom, that is the first disease. Next is the virus. We're going to do metabolic jump this time, genetic mimic, aerocyte, extremophile, and transstasis, for a very simple reason that eventually, when you get this, later on, you will be able to rapidly mutate, and you won't actually need to spend any of your DNA points on getting, you won't need to spend any of your DNA points getting symptoms by that point. Other than that, though, this is the same. Just grab your skin lesions and whatnot, and you should be good to go. If you really want to, you can actually devolve insomnia, because it does have quite a bit of severity, and I'm going to do that just because I feel like it will probably put us over the threshold that will put us onto the watch list a little too early in order to win. Other than that, other than like the small changes with the, evolution, it's basically the same thing. Grab your water, grab the extreme bioaerosol, try grabbing some livestock for Russia, that kind of thing, because you want to spread in Russia rapid fire. Because the way the game works is the more infections in one country, the more likely it is for it to be on anything else. You can also grab some pneumonia, because that will allow us to spread faster. Oh, there it is. See? Okay, and that is every country except for Morocco. I don't know why Morocco is always this, but this is the point where you want to grab your necrosis. Don't grab anything else. Grab these 3 and sit back and enjoy the chaos. This is very bad luck. If you're not confident in your luck like I am, you can always just grab the hemorrhagic shock later on. I think the Balkans are always in anarchy, to be honest. In all honesty, I actually think that this is probably easier than the bacteria, but, you know, that's just my thing. Fungus. This one is horrible. I hate it. This is probably one of the worst ones to to do in this game. Fungus, Metabolic Jump, Genetic Mimic, Aquasite instead this time, Extremophile, and Pathostasis instead. And it's pretty obvious why we're doing that. In this one, you actually want to start in India, high population, and just also kind of central location. You'll be able to get a lot of points. This one is a lot more RNG dependent than the other two. So the Fungus's gimmick is that it can't actually spread that well, and relies on having a lot of upgrades in order to spread anywhere beyond borders, but it does have these, which if you have Pathostasis, all of them are 1 DNA point. You have a lot, which is really good, but I have tried getting like good, like solid strategies for this. I don't really know that many, so you're just gonna have to pray for RNGesus. Instead of going for air, you're gonna wanna go for some water, because you're in India, you wanna spread fast. The more people you infect, you'll actually get more points from that. Let's try to hit the jackpot here. We hit Libya, which is, I guess, not horrible. Now, just because it's reduced doesn't mean you can't actually spread at all, as you may have seen there. I probably cut it out though. You can spread if you get a little bit lucky. So for example, I have Air 2, and I should be able to get at least 1 or 2 planes going here. I can also grab birds, and birds will do a hell of a lot, actually. Yeah, and also keep evolving things. Keep going. Let's get another one of these. We got that's actually insanely good RNG. Holy Jesus. We don't need to get any, we don't need to get any drug resistance yet. We're gonna go ahead and get water too. Then we're gonna try to get extreme bioaerosol. We can then try to push up into Russia. Why did it just do that twice? So if you get really bad RNG like me here, then you're gonna have to restart. There's something to be said for also using ATP boost in this one instead of metabolic jump, because it's pretty obvious why, I'd say, but whatever. This sounds completely random, but I just realized this map is actually outdated. There's no South Sudan. Let's hit the machine. All right, that's actually really good. Getting anywhere in the new world with this is actually a lot harder than you may think. So we're gonna focus on trying to get that drug resistance too. Airplanes use new dude, my RNG is amazing, actually. And the cure is started, but it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, that's unfortunate. So what I just had there was an awareness day, and that means that I don't think it's possible to beat this either. The awareness day basically makes this impossible, I'm pretty sure. We'll try, but whatever. Yeah, there you go. Watch list. That's way too early. That's physically impossible. Again, really RNG dependent. I'm sorry. There is a reason. There's a pretty obvious reason. I'm not getting a spore immediately because you need some severity before that point is actually going to be worthwhile. Otherwise, you're pretty much just wasting the red bubbles. That's at least what I think is likely. And like I said, this is the sweet spot right there. That was unfortunate. That's pretty good. Threat level increased again. Are you fucking with me? There is something to be said about going lethal very early. Why is Iceland leading it? What do you mean? So when you get around these, all you need to do, when you do this, you'll get a spore eruption, which will get a bunch of places, which for some reason, they were all there. So this is one of those scenarios where I feel like I'm going to lose, so I'm just gonna grab the lethality stuff. Because at this point, it's starting to get really expensive in order to do anything, due to the fact that we have so many people infected because we're playing on Mega Brutal, and the genetic drift is impacting this. So instead, we're gonna start trying to kill people off. It's important you do these one at a time, because if you're really unlucky, like me, for example, you can get two to be in the same place, which is horrible. Absolutely horrible. That's pretty rare. Doesn't mean anything, but it's pretty rare. I have most of the world's like wealth infected, so all I need to do now is try to ensure that I can kill this, because then I'll be able to slow down the cure, hopefully enough for me to spread to the last couple of these. And that is quite a far cry, but it is possible. Maybe not that possible though. I'm having some real bad luck with this. So I've gotten to a point where I have infected every single country. All I need to do now is hopefully, and this is a big hope, try to kill everyone. And as you can see, it is definitely doing something, but I am concerned with the rate of growth in Canada because Canada can become an issue in these situations pretty often. But as I am killing rapidly, so does the cure research, because as you can see, the cure is now becoming longer and longer because more people are dying and you're killing more and more people. So that's what it is. The fungus, you require to get lethality actually earlier than usual, which kind of fucks with my playstyle, but you also have to play a little bit more passive, which is very, very interesting. This is probably one of the hardest ones. I wouldn't say it's the hardest because I know what the hardest one is, but it may shock you which one it is because, well, it's not one of the special ones. Now, if you thought that one was hard, well, let's get for the easiest one out of the way. This one, ATP boost, genetic mimic, aerocyte, xerophile, and transstasis. We're going to be doing this on Mega Brutal, and of course we will start in Saudi Arabia, if you couldn't tell by the gene layout. So the reason why we like to pick transstasis here, and the reason why we like to do everything here, we start with this, we can now pick these, and the great thing about this, we don't have to worry about symptoms for the longest time. Severity is with these little transmissions, which is amazing. It is actually amazing. And the reason why we get transstasis is this stuff is cheaper. So the idea here is that you want to rush for Air 3, because, of course, we are in Saudi Arabia. You can start spreading ridiculously quickly, really fast. And of course, because you have these funny little ADHD mechanism here, you don't really have to worry about infecting every country. All you have to do is just start going and just go crazy with it, you know? It's all about getting DNA points for this part of the game. We managed to get into Australia. This here actually does give you a bonus in the rich countries. Okay, well, there's not much you can actually do about that. If they have an awareness day and put you on the watch list so early, there isn't too much you can do to fight it, because then they're just going to start curing you really quickly. I'll go through this just to show you that it probably isn't possible, and if it is, you probably have to get extremely lucky with it. So let's just roll with it and see what happens. So if you've ever played this game before, you would know that this, in fact, is a win condition. So all you need to do is infect everyone and get that disease, and you will win. Now, I think it actually is theoretically possible to do this right now, because this effectively works the same way as killing everyone. So it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. All right, there we go. And now it is time for these to happen. Now, another thing you can do if you want, you can grab this, grab your corpse feeder, and grab the aggression, because it actually does translate into a little bit more stuff. The first death was in Mexico, but it doesn't matter. The cure research is almost entirely destroyed. As you can see, it's kind of staying around this 44, 45 mark. Now, once you get that pop-up, you'll get this pop-up, and then this pop-up, which is a lot more familiar to many of you. Parasite. These two are really annoying. I will say that much right now. Metabolic Jump, Genetic Mimic, Aquasite, Extremophile, Symptostasis. This one is actually pretty normal, I would say. It is supposed to starve you for DNA, but it doesn't. It works pretty interestingly, but we will see how we go. Same as usual, just grab your Air 2 in Saudi Arabia, and you will start spreading like wildfire. What you want to do is, of course, get this. Don't mind this. This lowers your severity, which is really just a noob trap in all honesty. I mean, you can do it. I guess it is actually pretty good if you are trying to get some of the achievements that require you to do some long-winded stuff, such as getting America to nuke Russia. But there is no get out of jail free cards here, so what you have to do is the same as before. You have to make sure you infect Russia as quickly as fucking possible. If Napoleon couldn't get it, then I'm sure we could, at least, right? Oh, don't forget about the Caribbean and all the other little islands here. The easiest islands for you to get in this game, if you start with my strategies, is obviously going to be Madagascar. New Zealand's pretty easy because there is an airport there. Iceland is also easy because there's an airport there, but I didn't get it from there. I got it from America here. And a bunch of these like Pacific islands are pretty easy to get. Greenland's the hardest by far in all of these. The Caribbean is also pretty hard, but overall, it's not that big of a deal. All we need to do is get this infection going. They didn't even close it. What the fuck is this shit? As per usual, there's always going to be a level of RNG involved in this game. It is pretty unfortunate, but overall, it doesn't really matter. These games are pretty quick. They're not like Rebel Inc., which is a different game, which is similar in scope, but more personalized. It's not like Rebel Inc., where these games are more like 15 minutes rather than 5 minutes. At least when you play on 3-speed, they are more like 5 minutes. But overall, be patient, and eventually you will get it, because there's only so many possible outcomes in this game. If you're not trying to do the achievements, that is, there's a lot. This is a good time for India to shut down their airports. It's actually quite a lot later than I originally thought. But, it's okay. Boom. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you'll get games like this. See, I haven't even infected the Caribbean or New Zealand for that matter, but I have Greenland already. So I actually need to devolve this still, despite the fact that I have Greenland. Sometimes you'll get games where you can't get Greenland. Other times you'll get Greenland so early on that it's like that, yeah. So I have to wait until, well, there's New Zealand. Now I have to wait. Oh! Oh! Oh, shit! Oh! Okay, then, I guess the game heard me complaining. Holy shit. That was insane. Man. Now we just have to hopefully not get cured, because this would be an amazing part of the video. That would probably get the most replayed thing on YouTube. The iCure device. That's actually good RNG, because with my strategy, I always get sweating, which counters it. I need to get one more, I think. And I think, hopefully, if I need to, I'll have to grab this stuff here. I'll have to grab this. Okay, yeah, we're good now. All right, good. So, yeah, that's the Parasite. Parasite's pretty easy. I honestly don't understand its gimmick all that much, but overall, I can still win it. But the next one... the Prion. Slow, subtle, and extremely complex pathogen hidden inside the brain. In my honest opinion, this should be its own disease type. Like the Necrovirus and the Neurax worm, this is a disease type that I, personally, have done a lot of research on. And personally, I think that this scenario makes little to no fucking sense, you fucking piece of shit, Endemic's founder. I'm joking, by the way. So the Prion is extremely stupid in this game in the fact that it takes a very, very long time for each disease to actually get put into the, into actual effect. So this means that you have to adjust your playstyle entirely for this. On the plus side, this is the first one in the game, well, second, I guess, if you count the Neurax worm, but the first main disease's abilities that actually have a use in any sort of playstyle when it comes to mine. Because you can make the disease even harder to cure, which will hopefully, at the very least, allow you to get a lot more done before you can get cured. ATP boost, genetic mimic, aquasite, extremophile, and transstasis. Why do I have transstasis? Overall, the start will be the same as always. Okay, we're at the same point where you want to start getting your resistances and whatnot. We have spread a lot, as you can see. I don't know why it says slow and extremely subtle pathogen for this, to be honest, because it's just as fast as all the other ones. I guess the only thing that's slow about it is the... Oh my god. The only thing that's slow about it is, in fact, the symptoms being slow to get into effect. And that is modified by the amount of people that you have infected. At least I'm pretty sure it is. I could be completely wrong about that. Someone can tell me in the comments if I'm a stupid dumbass or if I'm not. Now, as you can see, that alone does actually do quite a lot. Hell, if you even want to, you can actually elongate it even further by trying to get some genetic hardening, which is not something I normally do, but it can actually work in this scenario. Now, the thing is, I've just wasted all of my points, but I've got more, so don't worry about it. And there you go. There's Greenland, and that is every single thing. So once again, we need to get this. This is a bad situation to be in. This might actually fail me, and I will explain why. There is a very specific level of lethality you need in order to get that continuous level of like points. As you can see, I'm struggling to get it right now. So meaning that I can't actually kill them fast enough, and I'm probably gonna lose here. Well, the fever is gonna help a little bit, but Again, look at how slow it is to react. I'll be right back. Anemic gang, rise up, but not too fast. The Philippines, right? Yeah. Never mind. Right as I said it, huh? That's pretty funny, to be honest. Honestly, we need those genetic reshuffles as soon as possible. And this is why I hate the Prion. You can't do anything in this situation. There is nothing you can do, because buying more lethality isn't actually going to give you more lethality because you have to wait. This is annoying. This is horrible. I think this is the worst disease in the entire game. And it's so unfortunate because the Prion, as a concept for a disease, is so ridiculously awesome, yet they just flubbed it up. When you get cured, by the way, I didn't mention this, but when you get cured, it's not the end of the world, but it most likely is the end of the world because you're on borrowed time, effectively. Yeah, there's nothing you can do at this point. You have to get... It's really unfortunate. This is such a sad scenario, and I am... Of course, I'm pretty upset about this scenario. One thing to note about my strategies is that they are always going to be differing based on what I feel like I need to do in my situation. It's always going to be different. Try to adapt. Be adaptive with all of your strategies in all games, not just Plague Inc., but especially all like strategy games and whatnot. You need to be adaptive because a good strategy game will not let you just have one strategy that fits all categories. You need to have multiple different variations and to learn to adapt to those variations, which is, again, the reason why I think Plague Inc. works on so many levels. But it doesn't mean that I think that Plague Inc. is perfect in every single way. Of course, there are the flaws in it, like, I guess the realism flaws, but then again, making this game realistic would probably be about as would make this game probably about as fun to play as someone driving a screwdriver into your into the back of your neck. But whatever, we won. We got this really early, as you can see. So now we're actually gonna grab this because I have plenty of money to spend, so I can slow the cure down to an absolute standstill. This is the best situation to be on with the Prion. I have about 250, 200-ish days. As you can see, as more people become active, becomes harder. 65%, and they still have over 100 days left. This is the one thing that I do like about the Prion, and that is realistic. But again, I think, personally, that this disease needs its own thing because it's such an interesting disease type. It's the cause of a lot of really weird and kind of, frankly, scary diseases, such as, what is it? Fatal familial insomnia or something like that? Fatal insomnia or whatever. It's the cause of that. It's a misfolded protein in the body. It's also what caused, you know, mad cow disease and whatnot. I feel like this should be a lot more interesting as a disease type because it's really cool. And I think it should be way cooler. And I'm sure you could say the same thing about a lot of the other diseases, but you know, I understand. I understand that this was just a game made by one person, but whatever. Also, look at how slow this is. Dude, this is painful. It's turned into Unnamed rants about the game that he loves for a long time. How many hours do I have on this game? I have 356 hours in this game. That's too much for Plague Inc., to be honest. And it's now time for the fun ones. These are all really fun. The Necrovirus. Unclassified early analysts suggest extreme mutagenic abilities. Is that what it says? Regenerative ability, whatever. Metabolic jump, Darwinist, that's different. Erosite, extremophile, and dopamine inhibitor. Increase the chance of a zombie victim becoming a zombie. Basically just increasing the number of zombies that you have. This disease is entirely different. It is just like, not just like, it is like the Neurax worm in its methodology, but different in a way. So, what is my strategy? Well, lethality is actually quite important, and also severity is important. I like to get bats 1 and then bat 2. Look at the amount of infectivity, look at the severity, sliver of lethality. Now, this is completely different from my normal playstyle because this disease is completely different from everything that they have given us so far. And I love it. This disease is actually very well balanced. Originally, when I first played this game and struggled at all to beat this on just normal difficulty, I always thought it was unbalanced. But then I learned how the fuck this disease actually works. And then it became easy. Well, not easy, but doable. A lot more doable. I mean, I can beat these last ones more consistently than I can beat the fucking fungus, so whatever. That's good RNG. You want to go down the right side, gives you more severity. I don't think severity actually directly translates to zombie capability, but I honestly don't really give a shit. More severity, more money. That's what I like. Okay, so this is the part of the disease. So zombies, obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone has played this game before. That's not good. I guess we're doing the zombies early. So, cytopathic reanimation causes zombies to start forming. I like to get this, and this stuff is what matters right here. So, now that you have this, you want to wait for some zombies to obviously spawn up. It takes the humans a little bit too long to react to the fact that there are fucking zombies in Saudi Arabia right now. Is that really that different from modern politics? ZCOM in UK? That's actually not horrible. ZCOM sets up a new base over here. So the ZCOM is the biggest issue with this disease type, and you want to overwhelm them with numbers and the combat advantage of your zombies. It can get really hard, let me tell you that right now. The reason why, you want to grab the movement and you want to grab this stuff because it increases the size of zombies that get moved. So for example, the reason why it's strong— oh, by the way, the cure doesn't matter in this. You can't cure fucking zombies, okay? Oh, there's also one in Morocco, so you can send this. So look at how many zombies you send over. You can overwhelm them with numbers. 18 million, that thing is already dead. The best case situation for this is a ZCOM project spawns in Greenland, because then you can literally send more zombies than there are people in Greenland. And this is a situation where you just clean up over here, and we're gonna recreate modern politics. And past politics! There's one in Iceland now, okay. They got the one in Spain down, I think. They're gonna build one over in New Zealand. Okay, that's actually pretty bad. We want to actually grab this. I don't normally like to do this, but because it's not really that useful. All right, now we're going to do what Napoleon always wanted to do. And as you can see, the ZCOM can put up a pretty good fight, but you can overwhelm it with numbers. Oh, the fucking Caribbean. Oh, I might have lost.
My name is Richard and I'm sitting in the corner.
Now, I believe what fucked me up last time was the fact that cytopathic reanimation happened way earlier than I really wanted it to. So before I get cytopathic reanimation, I like to, I almost thought it did happen again. I like to grab a lot of DNA points stored up because, well, the longer you wait, the longer it takes for ZCOM to start firing, and the later that ZCOM fires, the weaker they will be whenever it comes to the time that you actually need to beat them up. Eventually, though, this disease type is extremely easy to cure, but also it's doesn't need to be cured. That is also pretty bad RNG, but overall, it's not horrible. ZCOM sets up a new base, and okay, so you're just creating the Kalmar Union up here, dude. Shut up. Let me grab that. Okay, we shouldn't need to buy anything else within the disease map mode, so we are completely fine. Let's recreate modern politics again, and let's roll. ZCOM grows stronger in Sweden! Oh, yeah, sure, buddy. And yeah, you win. And just to rub it into the humans' faces... I don't know why I do that. So that's the coronavirus. Now it's time for the nanovirus. Out of control microscopic organism with a built-in kill switch. That is misleading as a name. The built-in kill switch is referring to the cure not killing everyone it touches, which is pretty unfortunate. ATB boost, genetic mimic, aquasite, extremophile, and syntostasis. As per usual, should all be good. What did I name this? Legend of Bread. I like that, yeah. I'm not really paying attention to what I get here. So, first things first. Insomnia, free. Paranoia, free. This tree down here is cheaper in this one than it is in all of the other ones to make the cure a little bit easier to deal with. Now, you don't need to deal with the cure for quite a little bit, actually. And also, yeah, the cure starts immediately. The entire world is focused on the cure as soon as possible because everyone knows you're a thing. Why were they making you in the first place, though, is the question that I want to know. Huh, Russia, do you have something to say? Were you trying to mess with some fucking, a biological warfare, huh? That's probably violating the Geneva Convention, you know. Okay, by this point, This is insanely powerful, which is the reason why you can wait so long to do it. Oh yeah, sorry, I kind of just got lost in the sauce for a second right there. Let's see here. So all you need to do now is make sure that the cure stays under control. It's also important to mention that genetic hardening and reshuffles are all a lot cheaper in this version. You're basically supposed to be fighting against the cure really hard in this one, but because of how many things they allow you to, you know, have to slow the cure down even further, it actually kind of becomes a little bit of a joke. Your biggest issue is still going to be spreading everywhere. And with that, I don't know if I will be able to. Okay, thank you, Norway. Caribbean and Philippines. Are you kidding me? I know the UK has one, America has one to the... Okay then, dude. What is wrong with you? Okay, that was a little bit close for comfort, but okay. Drug immunity, by the way, so, you know, wealthy countries is good. I guess it's pretty good if you're really struggling, but overall, it's not really that necessary all the time. The only reason I picked it up is because at this point, I've already won the scenario. I guess I'm gonna get birds. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Oh, by the way, USA president take an L. Insanity? Come on, give it to me. Do it. It's 2024. The election should have happened. Oh wait, no, the election doesn't happen yet. Oopsies. There are no healthy people left in the world. I actually don't know that, you know, that's how you get that one achievement where you get America to nuke Russia, which is pretty fun. Also, if you do end up actually caring about score for some reason in this game, there is no reason to. It's just like bragging rights. But if you do want to try to get the best score possible, wait until the game is literally about to end and do this this thing here, broadcast interceptor overload. As you can see, it cuts down the cure by a lot. And once they are, fuck, I did it too early. Whatever, but you get the idea. I don't really care for the score, I just care for beating it. The bioweapon, extremely lethal, ATP boost, genetic mimic, aquasite, extremophile, pathostasis this time. And what do we got here? What the fuck? The bioweapon has a funky little thing where it'll over time get lethality. As you can see, I haven't actually gotten anything lethal, but we have this tree here, and you don't need, after that, I'm not even gonna click the fucking 2 button on my keyboard to go to the symptoms tree. I don't need it. 3. I don't need to get it. It's completely useless. Don't need to. Okay, so you get pathostasis just to make sure. So this one here, this one lowers lethality. This one here will reset how quickly. So basically over time, it's gonna start giving you more and more lethality upon each time it gives you lethality. That resets it back to 0 or whatever it was originally. This here will lower the amount of lethality that you get over time. It's this is extremely complicated. It could be worded a lot better and it could be made a lot more clear, but it isn't, and this one often confuses people, and it's the reason why it's the last one, because it's fucking weird. One thing about this scenario that they do to balance it out is that the world is a lot less receptive to the lethality. So it's not like one person dies and suddenly the entire world focuses on the cure. They did actually balance it out a little bit, but it is still kind of bad. The biggest thing about this disease is still going to be, as per usual, spreading to these areas first. You can actually deactivate more. As you can see, they all connect into one thing, and if you haven't played this disease before and you're just watching this video because it popped up in your recommended for no reason, then you're about to see something really fucking cool. Okay, placed on the watch list now, finally. There is Greenland. That is everything. Okay, so now we wait. We don't even get necrosis, we wait. Actually, we can get necrosis. And instead, we're actually gonna grab all this. I'm gonna start grabbing some reshuffles here. Okay, time to click the button. Oopsies. Oops, all dead. Yeah, yeah. By the way, you can actually devolve it in case you need to infect people some more. But overall, this scenario is a lot easier once you realize how everything works. Again, this disease, a lot of these diseases are just about learning how it works before actually learning to put it to test. Of course, you need to know the base game, which is, again, why getting the bacteria mode down first is always going to be the most important. Now it's time for the last two, which are the most interesting. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The genetically modified increases in intelligence in humans, but does some weird things to apes as well. Actually, wait. Metabolic jump, cortisol sensitivity. I don't really know what I choose here. Aerocyte, extremophile, viral affinity. Don't really care about any of this because overall, This one is actually laughably easy. I guess it's because I'm a monkey. So for this one, we're gonna start in Central Africa. I should really get a drink whenever I record shit like this, dude. Because the most important part is this strategy is developed by a guy named Provis Gaming. You probably know of him if you were watching this video. In fact, you were probably recommended this video after watching one of his videos. So, whatever. Hello, how's it going? We are going to be doing basically the same strategy that he come up with, but do be aware that this strategy is not the end-all be-all. There are other strategies, and in fact, I have actually done one where I micromanaged both the apes and the humans at the same time. So, what is Provis's strategy? Well, you get this first. Then you try getting this stuff, and you grab these two as soon as possible. It is important, though, that whenever you get too much lethality, or really anything at all, devolve it. Devolve it immediately. This is one of the only times in the entire game where devolving lethality is actually or devolving severity is actually monetarily worth it, because we actually do want to stay undiscovered for a very long time. So let's make an ape colony. And the reason why we want to do that in Central Africa, and the reason why we chose Central Africa, is because Africa has a lot of apes. As you can see, quite a bit. Just a bit. Another place that has a lot of them is going to be India and Indonesia. They have a lot. Brazil has an okay amount, but it's overall not that much. China does as well. But, of course, you're mostly going to want to stick to, you know, these countries here. You know, they're the best. It's important you don't get these. Do not get these. This will fuck up the strategy, okay? Yep, keep devolving. Just keep doing it. Doesn't matter, just keep doing it. As you can see, that gives you a lot of points now. It's time to grab this, and that's all we're getting from that tree. Actually, I think you can get logistics. Actually, you can get a lot more, but you don't need to, so don't worry about it. Oh, look at that. We've now spread some places. How nice. Now, here's a fun thing. We're gonna grab an 8 from, let's say, about here specifically. The trajectory does matter. We're gonna try to get it to pass through as many countries in Europe as possible, going all the way to the tip of Norway. This will go through a bunch of countries, and it'll spread the disease, just like other things. It's like manually controlling a disease. It's really cool. Oh, by the way, we have another colony to make in West Africa. We want to get as many of these colonies as we can. This is unfortunate. This is bad RNG here. This stuff takes more to devolve, and it's really... if you want to know what this does do, if you go down here, it gives you total brain death. So, I guess, if you're playing casually and you're just, you know, doing whatever, then go ahead. Once again, do the same thing here. Try to get through as many as possible. With Sudan, you can also do the same thing. Now, we are not spreading at all in the disease here because there's no reason to. There really isn't. There is just no reason. If you're really good at micromanaging, which perhaps some of you are, because considering some of my first videos on here were playing Hoi 4, so I'd imagine a good few of you are probably no life sweats on micromanagement. But if you're not that good at micromanagement, this strategy works just as fine. We are spreading to a couple of areas, but don't worry about it. We have no severity. No one's gonna care. It's just like you're infected with a virus, but it's a technicality. There is nothing that can go wrong. You know, it's okay. So the idea here is that you want to get apes in every single country infected. Well, that's pretty unfortunate, but we'll keep that in mind for later. As you can see, I'm stocking up a lot of points. I'm gonna go ahead and make one. I think it's Southeast Asia. No, it's literally just Indonesia. Indonesia will be getting one, as that's a lot of apes. We'll also put one in India, I believe. This gives us a lot of points. We want a lot of points here because the strategy will entirely revolve around, in a moment, we're gonna get a lot of points and we're just gonna spend them all at once. So here comes, the disease is starting to spread a lot, but you don't actually need to worry about it. Okay, that's pretty interesting, but whatever. Don't really worry too much about Iceland and Greenland. We'll get them later. You don't need to spread it to them because there's no real point to it because there's just nothing there. There's imported apes. We'll liberate our comrades later. So there you go, me spreading in human. There is no real reason. They detect you. It's mega brutal. They're always going to detect you at all. Genesis escaped from Syslab, but don't worry. We have no severity. They won't care. Literally, we can sit here for a while. Unless they have an awareness day, in which case, fuck me. At this point, you want to grab these two tiers. make the apes very strong, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to, no, we should not fuck, just so you know. We don't need to fuck. But what we're gonna need to do is we're going to need to kill Genesis labs that appear that are trying to cure and kill apes, because oh no, how dare them, the humans are dying. We have to do everything in our power, including killing our friends in the world. So the amount of points you want to aim for is about 300 to 400, I think. I'm gonna probably just go to 350 and call it a day. You can get it really quickly if you have this much. There's the assassin combo. It increases the strength of your units, which is gonna be helpful. Not necessary, but I'm a perfectionist, so shut up. All right, here we go. So what you want to do is you want to grab this, you want to grab this now, and you want to probably wait a little bit as well. That stuff won't actually help you spread in Africa, so that's the reason why I did it. At this point, as you can see, we've spread to pretty much every single country with the apes. And the reason why this strategy is, and this disease type is so hard to win on Mega Brutal. Okay, so our time's up. Once they start doing that, time's up. It's time to actually start doing it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get severity, bunch of severity. I like going down. You can get blindness if you want to. I find that it's a little too aggressive and will get you killed eventually. Hominidae Bridge will allow cross-species infection, meaning that humans are going to infect apes, but more importantly, apes are going to infect humans. And we have apes infected all over the world. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a couple of levels of random things. Here, we wanna grab some water. Yep, and hello? Hello? Oh, I didn't buy it. Oopsies. Haha, I'm stupid as shit. Also, look at how expensive it is. It's 52 points. That's the genetic drift. There we go. Now. This is when you want to have metabolic hijack. There's a sound cue for whenever they spawn, and every single time they spawn, you're gonna want to check as to where it is. So for example, this one's in Egypt, so we're just gonna kill it. So now we have this. It is time to grab this stuff and time to get lethal. Because now we are spreading everywhere, and as you can see, we're spreading fast. Let's go to the human population. As you can see, it is starting to do some ridiculous shit. There's another one. Let's see here. Where? US, of course. Of course, they would do one in California. Central Europe, in Romania. Okay. UK shuts down its airports. That literally doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean anything either. Don't worry. So as we now... Oh, there's another one in Sweden, of course. Yeah, that's good. Now we just wait for it to spread a bunch. You want to grab some fomites for China, because I find for some reason it really struggles to spread in China. I don't know what it is about this, but it struggles a lot in China. Also, there's hydrocephalus right there. Yeah, yes, this is the sneaky. They can spawn in areas like this, but when they do, instantaneous. Now, if you do end up getting to a point where you think you're killing too quickly, don't be afraid to devolve some lethality, because at this point, you've won the scenario. There's no way they're curing you. Every single Genesis lab that you kill, it takes off a good chunk of the cure progress. Bro. What the fuck? Okay, I need to do something about this. It's the best. It's not rural, and it's not nothing. I can't actually do anything. Okay. I wonder what this picture of this ape is. Oh, it's a sideways skull. How did I not notice that until now? I didn't know what this picture was. I always thought it was like an ape with a chef's hat that was dead for some reason. But no, it's literally a sideways skull of a monkey. Oh man, I'm dumb. Yeah, this scenario always goes the same way at the end here. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about how long it may take you at the end here. You're fine. They're not curing you. You still have all your genetic reshuffles, and you even have a hardened reshuffle, I believe, at your disposal here, so don't worry about it. You got 7, yeah, and then this. And just to rub it in their face, let's give them total brain death. Anyway, I actually unlocked a gene from that. Anyway, it's time for the newest plague, the Shadow Plague. Sentient, mutagenic pathogen. Triggers a powerful thirst for blood. I should call my sister in here. I'm sure she would love that. sus. So, this strategy is also developed by Provis Gaming, but I don't know if this one's possible to do while micromanaging everything. This one is a lot different in its scope. So, what are we gonna do? Well, we're not starting in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, or anywhere in Africa. In fact, probably the exact opposite. We're starting in Greenland. That is what this strategy calls for. What are we doing? Well, you see this? The disease hasn't even been activated yet. We're not gonna activate this disease for a really long time. Yeah, so we're just gonna upgrade the vampire. A vampire rises in Greenland. So we start in Greenland because we are actually just gonna kill everyone in Greenland. You see, everyone in Greenland lives like right here and I think by this port here. So let's kill everyone. Yeah. So for the beginning, you want to get all of these upgrades here. You also want to get some of this dark ritual for healing during your little stuff here. And eventually, when you get to about this point, you want to get your, whatever. You want to get your movements, and it is time. Once it is killed, it will start starving to death. Let's move it over, and let's start killing off Iceland. Iceland has a little bit more population, but Greenland has only like 56,000 people in it, and Iceland has about 300,000-ish. So all we have to do now is, there you go, Templar. This is a bitch. This is about luck here. I see one in New Zealand. That is horrible. We're doing that one pretty much as soon as possible. And we're probably going to save the one in Brazil for the last, I'd say. And this is important because eventually these things get too powerful that you won't be able to kill it in one go, and you'll have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, 100, like at least 5 times with the last one in order to actually kill it off. And you need to kill it off before you get the disease because it'll start curing the disease, and it cures it really fucking fast, and it already cures. This disease is just as vulnerable to be cured as every other disease. It's not any more difficult to be cured. So you really have to do this. It may seem really weird and whoa, but whatever. Shut up. And we finally got the last level of this. So now the vampire is ridiculously strong. Boom. All right, now then, now that we've done this, it is time to start taking out the Templar. This is actually kind of a micro thing here, so you want to grab this. Let's wait until we get the Dark Ritual 2. Boom. All right, now then, we can, for the first couple, we can just kill immediately because we have this. But over time, they actually get stronger because I guess they get experience from fighting this. I don't know. Maybe they're playing Hoi 4 secretly because they're getting army experience. Their unit templates are getting really insane, you know? You can upgrade this, by the way. It makes you faster, and it also makes you go a lot farther, which is very nice. That's a really unfortunate event to get with New Zealand. Yeah, it knows. Like putting it off in the island here is the best thing they can do. But we get it. Doom. All right, cool. So we're done down here. It's time to move back up. We're gonna get the one in India, then the one in Botswana, and then it is time for the hilarious part, honestly. All right, this is where we're gonna need to probably start swapping. Yeah, here. So let's go over to Myanmar. Let's heal up a little bit. Let's go back over and kill it off for good. Yep, that's what you have to do. So we're gonna go down to Zimbabwe, and then we're gonna do, we're gonna alternate between Zimbabwe and Botswana. As you can see, each time it's getting harder and harder. It is starting to get really difficult. Do not risk it, by the way. It's not worth it. I've gotten impatient while doing this before, and I've just, you know, killed myself. But for this, I think they, over time, they get weaker whenever you know, weaken them. Yeah, they get weaker when you weaken them. That's... And now, this is horrible. To be honest with you, I'm not even looking at the health of the of the building. Boom, there we go. Okay, so that's the Templar done. So, what do we do here now? Well, we want to grab this, and we're going to want to set up a couple of these things here. We're going to put one here in Colombia, because no one's going to find a vampire lair in Colombia, let's be real. I don't think anyone goes there. That's a useless amount of points, by the way. Don't worry about it. When I first played this scenario, which I actually think I recorded it on my old channel or something about, like, probably when this first came out, I checked out what this was. I thought that the money you get from this was going to be insane, like the simian flu, but no, it's actually worthless. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to somewhere with a massive population, such as China or India. Take your pick, and, well, I'm going to talk to you guys later. I'm gonna have to look back and see how I failed that because oh, I was gone for like an hour and a half. I probably actually killed off the entire population of China, didn't I? All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of explaining on that part since I did kind of just leave it at that. So what you're supposed to do there is you're supposed to save up like 400 to 500 points. You don't need to kill the entire population of China. I just thought it would be funny for a little gag. I literally went downstairs, made a pizza, ate like some of it. My dad's eating it right now. I ate some pizza. I came back up and I saw that I died. So, how's that Phasmo update, you know? Holy RNGesus, Batman. So I guess I should actually explain something. So the way the point system, oh my goodness, sorry, my voice is going. So the way the point system like works in Plague Inc. is, oh, I forgot a very crucial part of this step, by the way. The way the point system works is that it will basically give you points for every person you infect, every bubble, obviously, you pop, and also for every person that's killed, and that includes by the vampire. So that's the reason why you're able to do this. You need these points, and it gives you a lot, because when you kill a lot of people, surprisingly, you get a lot of points. Who the fuck is calling me? What? Hang on. Hey, yo! Just by the way, they hung up. that's what happened. So yeah, I think I have enough points by now. So what are we gonna do? It's finally time to activate this little disease here. So what are we gonna do? It's finally time to activate the little disease here. I've got enough points. Let's get to it. So first things first, we're gonna grab everything down this tree here, everything down this tree here, and over here, we're gonna grab a little bit of everything just to ensure. And then we're gonna go down this route, pick up the Shadow Slaves. It's a win condition. Infect everybody and we win. That's really everything we need, but we'll also be grabbing this stuff. And from here on, we will just focus on infection. Perhaps these two things, look at the amount of infectivity you get from this. And with this, this tree here, this is the most crucial one to this because you get so millions of humans are infected each day. So look at that. That's pretty cool. So we go over to each area, we got this stuff going. And yeah, we just infect, getting, you know, of course, China and whatnot. If you can, I recommend focusing on the countries that have a lot of cure progress. This would include countries like Japan, China, Europe. That's not a country, but it's just Europe. and you know, the US and Canada and the Commonwealth and you know all that stuff. And when I say Commonwealth, I don't mean the Polish-Lithuanian I mean the British Commonwealth, like Australia, New Zealand, that kind of thing. Okay, so here's the labs. So this is the reason why we have these things. We teleport over and we need to destroy these things because that is how you lose the scenario. You don't keep track of that stuff. Okay, we need to get over to New Zealand now. Oh, they put one in Sweden. Okay. They put one in Norway. Okay. They put two down. They put one in Iraq and one in the Balkans. One in Finland. It's all about just keeping everything up to date. I'm pretty sure I heard another one as well, but I don't know where it is. It could be in France. You honestly don't even need any transmissions. The only reason I wanted to do it that long was just to be completely sure, because, you know, if you're gonna wait an amount of time, you might as well make sure it's the right amount of time. That's at least what I've always thought. I mean, you could literally just go around to every country and manually infect, and it's doable. I mean, I think I remember one time seeing on the Steam community page, like anyone actually uses that anymore. I remember seeing on the Steam community page that someone did this virus without ever activating the disease. The amount of time that took, because you can't just, as you saw there, you can't just go away and just make a pizza, come back and be done with an area. You have to meticulously make sure everything's prepared. It is frustrating as all hell, but someone did it and their score was ridiculous. They got like 1 million score or some shit like that. I don't know, man. It was crazy. But eventually, after just a little bit of time, you'll get to this point. Okay, Greenland and Iceland are already dead, so you literally don't need to worry about it. We have enslaved the world, and there you go. In one video, I have beat every single Plague Inc. Every single Plague Inc. disease on Mega Brutal. And before you ask, no, I will not be doing it with the official scenarios because, dear God, no. Dear God, no. No. Nuh-uh. Not happening. Nope. Fuck you. Goodbye.